Hey YouTube, Roguetree here, back with some Phantom Knight test hands. I would call it a combo tutorial, but it's kind of just, I'm just going to draw some test hands, show what kind of lines you can go through. You do have kind of semi-defined lines, but every hand is going to do it slightly differently. So I figured I'll just show off a few combos just by doing some test hands. I'll probably do 2 or 3 test hands just to show off kind of how the deck plays. So yeah, I think we'll just get into it. We'll just set that there, give this a good little shuffle. We can just give it a little cut. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we can do with this. We have Nib, Enchantress, Right, Boots, Staingreaves. So this is pretty good. First, we'll go with Right to get your adventure token. And then your Fateful. Usually you want to pretty much start off your combo with your Adventure Engine, obviously to set up your Griffin Rider negate. And then we probably just special the Enchantress first to not tell our opponents what we're on quite yet, to trigger the Fateful, to search for your equip spell, Dracoback, and then Fateful search the Griffin Rider, discard the Dracoback, Dracoback effect, equip to your token, and special summon your Griffin Rider. So now we can normal summon our Staingreaves and special summon our Silent Boots. Sorry for the glare over here. I'll try to keep monsters out of those zones. So then we'll use our Boots and our Enchantress to summon our Cherubini. Cherubini can then send, probably in this case, your Torn Scales. Let's see, yep, Torn Scales. And then we can just go Staingreaves, Cherubini into our Bardiche. I suppose we'll just use the Enchantress for no reason, just to trigger it this turn so that we have the right for follow-up. Then we can Bardiche, send a probably an Ancient Cloak to set our rank up. Can we, yeah, almost always set the rank up. I was debating if we could search the rank up so we can summon that monster this turn, but it's almost always fine to just set it. So yeah, now we can Ancient Cloak to search a monster. We can search for, actually, our second Staingreaves, so that on resolution of Cloak, our Torn Scales will special summon itself. And then on that summon, we can special summon our Staingreaves. And at that point, we probably don't need to even use our Torn Scales. We can just overlay these two into our Breaksword, Bardiche effect, pop the Breaksword, Breaksword effect, bring back 2 Phantom Knights, and their levels increase by 1, so you can just bring back your Torn Scales and your Staingreaves, overlay into your Dark Rebellion, and then we can just search with Silent Boots into a Fog Blade. So then, yeah, we just set the Fog Blade, and that's our combo from that hand. So yeah, as soon as our opponent's main phase, as soon as our opponent goes into main phase, we can... The unfortunate part is we have to wait for them to perform an action, but as soon as they do anything, we can activate our Rank Up Magic, banishing one or more darks. We just banish the one, usually the Cherubini, just because it's a dark that's there and we're not going to use it again, to rank up into our Requiem for our 3 monster negates. So then we will have 3 monster negates here, a Griffin Rider negate, a Fogblade negate, and a Bardiche pop when our Requiem reborns our Breaksword. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interruptions with our Nibiru. So from just that random hand, that got us to a 7 interruption combo. So let's try this again. All right. So after a good shuffle there, we'll just finish this up, give it a little cut, and draw our hand. See what we got this time around. We have Griffin Rider, Ash, Enchantress, Tornscales, Boots, which this is also okay. Enchantress plus Griffin Rider is kind of the same as opening Enchantress plus Right or Enchantress, because now just instead of searching Griffin Rider later, we can search a second Enchantress for another level 3 extender. So that is what we can do first. Banish our Enchantress to search our Right, activate Right, summon our token, and grab our Fateful. Then we can normal summon our Tornscales to trigger the Fateful to search the Dracoback. Dracoback. No. We Fateful to search for another Enchantress. And discard the Dracoback. Dracoback effect. Equip to the token. Enchantress to special summon. Silent Boots to special summon. And then Enchantress Tornscale into Cherubini. Before we go any further, should have summoned the Griffin Rider earlier, but we'll just stick that out here now. Probably summon the Griffin Rider right after you write. I totally forgot that was there. But yeah, that's usually as soon as you get the token, if you've got the Griffin Rider, just slap it down. So yeah, after that, we can Cherubini, probably sending a Cloak, Silent Boots, and Cherubini can go into Bardiche, and I think this is going to be pretty similar now, because we've got Cloak Banish to search our Stained Greaves, trigger the Tornscales, summon Tornscales, Stained Greaves, summon itself. Bardiche can send probably just a Ragged Gloves to set our rank up. And then we can overlay into our Breaksword, our Bardiche pop the Breaksword, bring Breaksword effect when it gets popped to bring back your 2 Phantom Knights, and they're level 4, so you can go into your Dark Rebellion, And then we can just banish our Silent Boots to search for a Fog Blade. And this time around we have a Ragged Gloves in graveyard. So banish Ragged Gloves to send a Wing to the graveyard. You can send Wing or Sword here. Either one works. So yeah, then we just set the Fog Blade, and then we're good. So this hand is pretty much same as last one, but with the extra addition of having the Phantom Knight's Wing in the graveyard. So yeah, opponent's main phase, we can rank up Magic, banish our Cherubini to summon out our Dark Requiem. And so then we have our 3 Dark Requiem negates, our Griffin Rider, our Fog Blade, our Ash, and instead of relying on this to summon a monster to pop a card, we can just use our Wing to summon our Break Sword to pop a card whenever we feel we need to. So say they happen to be on adventure and you want to pop their Fateful, you can just banish your Wing, bring back your Break Sword, trigger Bardiche, pop their Fateful. So then you're all good. So yeah, pretty similar end board, but obviously got to it a little bit different. Yeah, I suppose let's get into a third. After we finish up, we can do a little cut and draw our 5. See what this last hand gives us. See if we can get a kind of a stinker, see what we can do with it. We have Ash, Cloak, Stained Greaves, Tracker. So this obviously does not have our adventure, but that might not stay that way. So let's go probably normal summon our Ancient Cloak, special summon our Psychic Tracker, use these two to go into our Cherubini. Unfortunately, I do not think we're getting to our adventure because at this point we probably have to send our Torn Scales, which is alright. So Cherubini send Torn Scales, Ancient Cloak, banish to search for probably a Silent Boots. Torn Scales effect can special summon itself from the graveyard. Stained Greaves effect, because I specialed a Phantom Knight, can summon itself. Silent Boots, because I control a Phantom Knight, can summon itself. And then we can Cherubini and the Stained Greaves into our Bardiche. Let's see. At this point, we're probably good to just, yeah, Torn Scales can send our Stained Greaves and our, well, discard your Stained Greaves to Foolish, probably just a Wing, I believe. I'm still not perfect at the deck, but I will try to show it off well. Because then we can use the Bardiche to send our Ragged Gloves to summon our, or to set our Rank of Magic. And then we'll just get that set up quick with our Break Sword. Bardiche pop Break Sword. Break Sword bring back probably the double Stained Greaves. Let's see. No, we probably actually want the yeah, probably. We just do the Stained Greaves and then overlay those into our Dark Rebellion. And then we just banish Boots to search for a Fogblade. So this is a couple less, well, not necessarily a couple less, because this is just minus the Griffin Rider from the other combos. I didn't think as far enough ahead, so this Ragged Glove should probably be an Ancient Cloak for follow-up. I was thinking we could use Ragged Glove, send another trap to get like an IP on board, but I don't think that that's quite worth it in this scenario. We can just leave the wing for the Break Sword. So yeah, this Ragged Gloves definitely should have been an Ancient Cloak, but it still works out fine because we can just, actually, yeah, we can just Ragged Gloves, send an Ancient Cloak, and then it will be an Ancient Cloak. So then, yeah, then our graveyard setup for next turn is good. So yeah, on our opponent's main phase, we can rank up Magic, banishing the Cherubini to summon our Dark Requiem. So then we have 3 Dark Requiems, a Fogblade, an Ash, and our Wing to summon Breaksword to pop a card. So that's still 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 3, 4, 5, 6 interruptions, and Ancient Cloak, Torn Scales Engrave for follow-up to banish, search, summon, go off. So that is still pretty good considering what that starting hand looked like. Yeah, other than Griffin Rider, that's kind of another basic board. So I think that showed off pretty well what the deck can do. That's kind of the standard combo. Go for Cherubini into Bardiche, into Breaksword, Rebellion, Requiem. That's your kind of standard line, but you go through it a variety of different ways based on your hand. So I hope this was beneficial to show off kind of how to combo with the deck. I think that's all I've got to show. This is Rogue Tier, signing out.